2, 1. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. What's going on? What's going on? Happy Father's Day, guys. What's going on, Donnie boy?
What's happening? What's happening? Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Give me 1 second, guys, and we'll be right back. What's going on? I mean, it's not a late hour, but it's, during the week. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, my brother.
Happy Father's Day, man. You know, I always say we wear a lot of hats, but none more important than being a dad.
You know what? Amen and amen. Listen, I've had a blessed day today, but before we get into our day, how you celebrating your Father's Day? What do you got going on over there?
So I am officially a bachelor starting at 3:00 today. My wife has to go on a work trip, so she left at 3:00 today. So I am enjoying one of my all-time favorites, my Davidoff Nicaragua. And I am enjoying a nice frozen pina colada.
If you like pina colada. Well, your boy Panda.
How about you?
Your boy Panda is hold on, I messed that up. How do I do this? It won't let me do me. It's all right.
Here, yeah, it will.
It's all good. It's all good, guys. I'm sure you can see. Oh, there you go. The Panda's 80th anniversary, guys.
That's a good stick. That's a good stick.
Yeah, and I got my gin and tonic, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, because you know what? It was nice because the missus made me some oxtail. I'm gonna be posting that later on today because let me tell you, it was absolutely delicious.
Never had it.
What's going on, Crushman? Never had oxtail?
Nope.
Oh, you have no idea what you're missing. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate you, man. Happy Father's Day, for real. So, what did you end up doing today? I mean, I know you kind of somewhat of a bachelor, man.
So I woke up this morning. I drove out to my dad's house. We took my sister and I took my dad to breakfast, and so he wanted to go to breakfast this time. So we went out there for breakfast, and then I turned around, came back down here. We went over to Sherry's parents' house to do a quick Father's Day lunch with them, and then got back here, got her ready to go, got her to where she was going to she's riding up with another one of the ladies from her office. So got her to her office where they could get together and got back here and jumped on. So it's been a kind of a whirlwind day, but you know.
Well, let me tell you. I woke up. I wanted to go to early service, which is normally starts at 8:30. Yeah, the Panda didn't make that one. The Panda did not make that one. So we made the 10 o'clock service, which was nice.
You guys go to service live? You went live to service?
Yeah, we went. We drove to our church. Most of the time, I mean, there's times that I'll go by myself if Jen has to work on a Sunday, but I'll if not, if I wake up late, I'll go come in the garage and I'll watch it online, so. But yeah, today it was a good service. We got home, and dude, I just been vegetating all day. I mean, seriously, all I've done is vegetate. I've done nothing other than to get up, take a shower, brush my teeth, go to church, and then come back home. And yeah, we had a good dinner. Like I said, I'm gonna post it, man. The oxtail was so delicious, bro. It was so good. She made it with some mashed potatoes,
nice,
and some corn. The mashed potatoes and the corn very simple, but the oxtail, she started cooking them yesterday. So they were super soft. I mean, just falling off the bone.
Nice.
And I've been waiting for months because first of all, oxtail is so damn expensive now.
Is it?
Oh my Lord, it's gotten sick. So every 2 weeks when we go to the farmers market, if they have, if my guy has some, I'll buy, put it this way, 2 packs sealed up will probably, depending on the size, because they all is all by pounds. But dude, I spent like $45 on like maybe 6 pieces. You know?
Damn.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's like ribeye prices.
Oh yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's sick, man. So, we've been saying, holding, buying packs here and there and just putting them in the freezer and just waiting for this day because I was like, you know what? I've been in the mood for oxtail for such a long time. And finally, I got my day. And she started cooking it yesterday and it was just, yeah. So I didn't even eat. What did I have to eat? I don't think I ate anything this morning.
Yeah. Just waiting for that. Waiting for that, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, enjoying the 80th, and I just this thing never disappoints, man. It's just I'm sure that's how you feel about your David dog.
Well, I told you before we got on here, I actually had that stick in my hand today. I was like, I'm gonna smoke this today, and I'm like, you know what? Father's Day. It's I'm batching it. I got my drink, got my buddies. I'm gonna break out the Davidoff today.
Yeah, man. And then that's the whole thing, man. It's funny because this was next to the Davidoff, and I was like, you know what? I need this. I haven't smoked the 80th in a while, in a minute. Well, that's not true because I smoked it on my birthday. It was one of the sticks that I smoked. I think I had a couple of the 90ths and then the 80th. But I was really gonna get super bougie and pull out that Opus, but I was like, nah.
So I got all my what I'll call my super premium sticks, the Davidoffs, the Padrones, the Opus. I got them all on the top shelf of and I got them all sitting next to each other. So I had this one, 80th, Opus X, and then 2 Amazon Basins, and I was like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah. Well, I got the 10. I got the Opus 10 that they ended up getting some at the lounge. I bought me a 10.
So are they the small ones, or are they regular? No, they're Doros.
Yeah, let's see if I can find the 10. Hold on. Okay. I think I sent you guys the video, or did I take a picture of it?
You did. Yeah, either one of the two. You took a picture or a video. I can't remember which one, but
I know I sent it. I had sent it also to Ernie because I know he was looking for it. Well, there's one of the 10s here. Hold on. Yeah, there's one of the 10s. And that's the Angel one.
Yeah.
I didn't get this one. I got. Well, that was the whole setup there. And I got
What's going on? What's happening? This is Ty Tawana is a girl I used to work with way back when in Hurricane Florence in Raleigh. What's happening? Hope you're doing well.
Nice. Hello. Oh man. So yeah, dude. It was pretty cool, man, to run into all those people yesterday at the lounge, at that Spinoza event. And to see, I told you, I ran into to Angie, the polished puff. I like to go to the polished puff queen, because I'll tell you, man, I would love to know whoever her nail tech is. They must be happy because that girl's nails are done every time she posts. So it's
something different, huh?
Every time.
So that thing kind of yesterday was kind of like a mini Great Smoke type thing, running in some people like that and running people you don't see a lot all the time, and
Yeah, there was a couple of guys, man. That guy Juan Carcel, I think I always forget his last name. The Puerto Rican dude that has the beard. He's always on Kiss My Ash radio with Gabe who's smoking.
Right.
He's lately been hanging around a lot of Espinosa stuff. So I don't know if he's partaking in it, with them or he's going around, but he always seems to be there. Like we saw him at the Great Smoke.
Right.
We saw him at the Great Smoke, and he was kind of doing his own thing with Eric. He was doing. Now that I realized, he was doing stuff with Eric back then. And I know I know he's affiliated with Smoking with Gabe. Abe, rather. So yeah, it's interesting. it was in the video I showed. People were just getting there, and I never got a chance to really video how busy it really got. And it was hot, and people were outside enjoying the weather outside, and that was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't that it was a good event. Eric, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it this time around,
Yeah.
but his son was, his son's always chill, man. His son definitely got a good future in this career, so
Yeah.
he's doing well. He's doing well for himself. Mm, mm, mm. Well, it's Wednesday. I'm still waiting for the stuff. We're supposed to be getting all that information from Tobacco G Sticks from the Jacksonville Boutique Cigar Fest that's coming up in Jacksonville,
Right.
August 23rd.
You're gonna be out there, right?
I'm going to be out there. I'll be out there representing. I'm probably going to go out there with my camera, with my handheld, my phone, and just do some videos so we got something to post. And we'll probably go live, do some type of social media source of it.
Cool.
Yeah, I know H is going to be out there as well from Banff.
Yeah.
I believe he's supposed to be doing hand roll cigars right then and there.
Yeah.
Um,
So I always wondered about that. So I've been to a couple events where they have a guy rolling cigars, but I always thought that once you roll a cigar, it needs some time to age and dry out a little bit. So how do they get away with that at hand rolling at events? Do they bring like a bunch of aged ones that they've already rolled, and then they're rolling them in front of you, and then they put that one to the side and give you one of the aged ones?
No, I mean, you understand the tobacco's already aged.
I understand that, but just in the rolling process, the tobacco has to be somewhat wet, right?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, it has to be. Yeah, I guess you could say wet, moist, whatever. In order for you to get them all together. But to me, I think that would they taste better? If you got them hand rolled and let them sit for a little bit, probably so.
Yeah.
Because I've had hand rolled cigars right off of the table, and to me, sometimes they come out a little bit more earthy, than your norm.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't know. I mean, no one ever discloses exactly. They'll say, "Oh, this Nicaraguan tobacco or
Mm-hmm.
Honduras tobacco, and this is what I'm doing." No one wants to give up trade secrets, man. And Ish is kind of one of those guys that he's kind of a rare one that he's very open. If you ask him a question,
Yeah.
he'll be more than happy to answer it and answer it honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
to his detriment sometimes,
yeah.
But that's I'd rather a guy be honest with me.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because you kind of wonder, is he giving out like way too many trade secrets, right? But I don't think in this case, he doesn't he just wants the truth to be out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is, and for those of us that don't have that insight
Mm-hmm.
the way he does, it's good to hear a true perspective from someone that's involved directly.
Right.
To me, so I mean, to me, it's one of those things. It's good for us. You know what I mean? I mean, for him, I would assume it's just as good because he's letting the truth out, or however things are, or whatever the what you call it, the portrayed secret might be, or what people pretend things to be. And he's not shy of calling BS.
I was just about to say that. It's one of the things I like about Ish is he doesn't mind calling BS when on this a lot of the things. Even sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes hearing him call something BS and everybody else says it's true. You got to wonder who. But I don't mind him calling BS because it makes me think a little bit. It makes me go, okay, let me look into that and form an opinion on it. Myself because XYZ person says it's true and or Ish says it's true and XYZ person says it's BS or vice versa or whatever. And it makes you kind of do your own thing and try to figure it out by yourself. And that's part of this journey. It's part of my journey anyway.
Well, but you know what? As a
So,
true
what's happening? Happy
as a
Father's Day,
true
brother.
enthusiast, right? As a true enthusiast, happy Father's Day. I appreciate you. You know, the reality is this, right? Because as a true enthusiast, you should be doing your own research, just like anything else, right? So that you could at least have an opinion, right? You want to be able to sit down in a room with a bunch of people that are somewhat in depth in it and kind of hold your own.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing worse. I don't care what topic it is. It could be cigars, sports, politics, religion, whatever it is. You want to be able to be, you know, diverse in whatever it is that you want. People are talking about. Nice, buddy. I appreciate it. Don't know if you're a father, but if you are, happy Father's Day, brother.
Yeah, he's got 2 little ones. They ain't little ones. They ain't little ones anymore. I think if him and I think they're about the same age as my kids.
Oh, nice. You know what? That is, guess what? It's phenomenal. I don't know about you, man, but I remember, um,
24 and 20, so a little older than mine are 25 and 23. So
so yeah, mine's 24, gonna be 25 and 18.
man,
24, okay, 24 and 28. That's
where did time go, man? Where did time go?
yeah, I was just thinking about that, out the house and way better than me. But you know what? But that's what you want, though, right? That you want your kids to do better than you. You know that says that you did your job. You know what's going on, PC? Welcome, buddy. Is he like frozen? Is this not the PC? Hold on, man. Where he at?
I think he's having trouble hearing.
Okay. Dude, I don't know about you, man. So, who's the oldest? Your daughter?
My daughter's the oldest, yeah.
So, I don't know about you, man, but I remember when my daughter was born. Obviously, my first child, and of course, I What's up, Rob? Happy Father's Day to you too, brother. When my daughter was born, I thought it was I thought it was a boy. I thought it was a boy because of the umbilical cord.
You said it's a boy, and what a boy!
Dude, listen, man. Oh man, makes me watch Don grow up. He makes you feel old. Dude, let me tell you, I remember when my daughter was born, I cried and cried. Dude, for years that I didn't shed a tear when I probably should have, I had everything pour out on me that night. And I had the doctors crying, the nurses crying, and I couldn't. And when I tell you, it was such an uncontrollable cry.
Dry it up, Sally.
Yeah, and the doctor was like, "Stop crying." I'm like, "But I'm trying," I'm trying. And I remember holding my daughter for the first time. Her eyes were wide open. She had these long fingers. She still does. She got those traits from her mama. And I remember, just holding her and just realizing that my life is about to change.
Yep.
My life is about to change. I was, working. I was in the specialized unit.
Adding PC, take 3.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah, I can now hear you. Happy Father's Day to everybody, man.
Happy Father's Day, brother.
And to me, like I said, my life literally changed overnight, man, from one day to the next. And I was like, okay, I need to reassess my life, reevaluate my priorities, and because now you're no longer living for yourself, right? You're not, it ain't about, you going out of the clubs and going to bar hopping. That's it. Now you got another mouth to feed, and it's solely relying on you to make sure that they get fed, changed, and bathed.
And the thing is, that mouth, if it's just you and your wife or your significant other, or whatever, if things happen, he or she can go figure it out. But when you got a baby, they can't go figure it out. They're solely reliant. That's what the thing that got me when my daughter was born is like, okay, there's a human being alive now that what I do and what I decisions I make directly affect whether this human survives, thrives, lives, you know, whatever. I'm responsible for another human being now. That was an eye opener for me, because, you know, I'm sure every one of us has the same story. We're, you know, when you're a young man and, you know, you're living for yourself, you're going out, you're doing your thing, you know, and even when I got married, it was, you know, we were having a good time and we were doing our thing, you know, and then it was like, you know, when we found out we were pregnant, it was like, okay, but still you figure, okay, I got almost a year to figure this out. And then all of a sudden it's here, you're like, damn, I didn't figure it out in that year. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was extremely young man when I had my first kid, my daughter, my oldest daughter, and it was challenging, man. It was a reality shock for me. But you know, my daughter made me grow up when I wasn't ready. You know, I was still trying to figure it out. Thought I was going to be able to play some, you know, go through the process of trying to reach my goals of playing pro football. All of that changed because I had to change my habits and stuff like that. So, you know, it happens. You have to spend on a dime when you going down that road. And like you say, that you're no longer important. That kid is the most important thing in your life.
William, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here watching us. You did more for those kids. You did as much or more for those kids than any father does. So don't sell yourself short, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you something. It is an eye opener, and you're right. It made you grow up fast, you know, because you knew. All right, man. It can't be selfish no more.
He's so right what he just said. You go in that room one way and you come out a different cat, man. You come out a different dude, you know.
Hey, I'm very thankful for that process, man. You know, it's almost like my daughter saved my life in so many different ways because of the people that surrounded me in the environment. And you know, when you're moving at a fast pace, sometimes you need that to snatch you back, because reality is not what you think it is, because you know you're living on a different plane. So and that's what she did for me, man. She actually saved my life. Now that I look back at it, 33 years now, you know.
Well, and not only that, right? And there's no such thing as, oh, I'll wait till I'm financially ready.
Oh, no such thing as that.
No such thing. You know, it's funny how it works, though, right? Because you end up finding ways to make it work,
right?
Because you're like, okay, that means I got to work extra hours. That means I got to, you know, get a little side hustle to make a little extra change. And you know, before you would drag ass and be lazy about it, but now you're like, no, I don't have time. I can't afford to be lazy. I can't afford not to work those extra hours.
So for me, you know, back in those days, it was, you know, I wasn't making a ton of money, and you know, I'm almost glad that I didn't have this cigar lifestyle back then, because I know I wouldn't have been the same you know, like there's zero chance I would have been able to do that, you know. So
yeah, Donadolph probably wouldn't even exist right now.
You know what?
Yeah, we'd be Brickadolph.
We'll be buying a whole bunch of those po' boy samplers.
Donna Brick.
Brick. Oh man, well, you're right, man. Let me tell you, it is a challenge, and I could tell you that that it definitely, that you know, it's different. It really is, and to me, financially, you know, it was one of those things that, you know, I was 23 years old. You know what I mean? 22, 23. I was just starting my career, getting things going, and I'm like, you know, hustling, bustling, and then all of a sudden, boom, I got this mouth to feed that's, you know, waking up in the middle of the night. I got to change diapers and make sure there's baby food and you know, buying, you know, formula, which formula even back then was expensive as hell, you know. Man. And it's just, think about it, man. But I'll tell you, like I said, I cried and cried and cried. And when my son was born, so they were like, "Do you want to know what it is?" I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, I want to know." And sure enough, I'm not gonna say, okay, I know I'll embarrass him if I tell you how we recognize. They recognized him very quickly that he was a boy. Okay, and when they told me that, man, I'm doing cartwheels in the doctor's office, man. I'm screaming up a storm. I'm like, hallelujah, man. I'm like so grateful I finally got my boy. You know what I mean? I'm like, thank you, Jesus, man. Because you know what? I mean, we all want our names to continue, right?
Right.
That
namesake, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, think about it. Like your daughter carries your name until she gets married.
Right.
And then, I mean, she will always be part of your name and your somewhat
legacy.
Legacy. But, it's a whole different dynamics now, right? It's because now, it's the way of life. You change your last name and you with that comes your change of identity and the whole spiel. Us, man, we got it lucky because we really don't have to change nothing, right? They got
the only thing I got to go. The only thing I got to go to the DMV for is to change my address if I move.
Right. They have to change the social security cards and all that other craziness to go along with that name change.
You know what? When I get, you're right. I keep on hearing that. Part of me, listen, I just turned 50, and my daughter is not she's not ready to be a mom anytime soon, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
My son's 18, so I think I have a few more years. Especially if you are the same man. I agree, buddy. I agree. Oh yeah, I'm sure, because
what's up, Gabe? Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Bubba. To me, yeah, dude. I think of all the changes, think of over the years. Like I look at my kids now and you remember them when they were little, when you could hold them on one hand and now, they talk back to you and you want to punch them in the throat. And, they know everything, nothing, it's just one of the things like, I'm like, I promise you. Well, who was it that they said that their daddy said, you walk on the roads I paved on?
Hey, that's what my dad used to tell me, man. Hey, you walking on the roads that I paved for you. I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. What road you didn't walk on? He never would tell me.
I remember too, my dad, like I would call him, like my kids would do something stupid in school and I would call him like, you won't believe what this little did in school. And I just remember him belly laughing, like yeah. He said, "You don't remember that day you did that?" I'm like, I choose to."
The thing is, when you have kids, man, you get payback from your boys, but they say if you have girls, you really get payback. So it's
listen, yeah, you know what, yeah.
I'm 2 for 2, man. So I'm like, okay, it's a balance there.
Yeah. Hey, PC, you smoking?
It depends on what you're talking about. I'm smoking out of all up. I disappeared.
You disappeared, man. You can get a little closer like that.
Man, I got 5 bags. I got 5 bags of cigars here, though.
Wow.
Yeah,
must be nice, bro. The life of PC. You 5 bags. Open one, but stick your hand in it and grab one out.
I figured what bank that Don was banking at, so they loaned me some money. I'm finna pop something open, man. But yeah, I got a chance to go to the lounge today, so I hit the Donadolph Lotto, so
Yeah. So and Willie, you're right. Girls are way harder. You know why girls are harder to raise boys? Because with the boy, you only have one pecker to worry about. Okay? Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying.
Hey, speaking facts, baby. Talk that.
What's going on, Nick? You happy? What's going on? Thank you. So Nick's my sister. We took my dad to breakfast this morning. So
Nice. But I'm telling you, man, raising girls is rough, man. Like I said, boys are easy. You only got that one pecker to worry about, man. With girls, man, you gotta stand on the damn patio, the porch, or whatever with your, your little click. It's just
girls are way harder, aren't they, Nick?
Yeah, you don't sleep in your bed. You sleep in the car in the driveway, just waiting.
Mhm.
Like,
No, it's. I'm telling you, man. It's. And then the thing is, what drives me absolutely is with the women, the young ladies that they start.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't.
They get older. Oh, she didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. I said girls are way easier than boys, right, Nick?
Yeah. It's listen. They go through that developing stage. They go through all that. All that. It's like no. I don't want to know nothing about that. And it's like, oh Lord, no.
we were at breakfast this morning. We were talking about this very subject, and she has a I hate these. It's 13, 14-year-old daughter, and then she has a 25-year-old daughter, and so her younger daughter was hanging out with the other one, and she's like, "Hey, I just want you to know, I love your sister to death, but I didn't like her a whole lot from like 12 to 17, so don't be like her." And I looked at her, I said, "We didn't like you at 12 to 17 either."
Oh snap!
Because I'm way older. I'm 13 years older than my sister, so.
well, she didn't have a chance in a snowball chance in hell, dear.
You got that right, boy. Oh man, me about daughters have same attitude like their mom. Let me tell you, what's up, Black? Happy Father's Day, buddy. And you stole my Barbie Jeep. Oh my Lord, man! Really? Oh, man.
Yeah, she was the baby girl of the family, so she got the Barbie Jeep, and she got the come on.
Oh, what's up, Matt? Hey, Gabe, I hear you, buddy. Oh man.
No, but I'll go on to say, man, being a father is a privilege, so, and it's one that I will proudly wear,
Mm-hmm.
I love being a father, man. And the things, my daughter has produced me 5 grandkids, man. I love them dearly. They love their grandpa. And, it's nothing like being a grandfather and watch your lineage grow. And my son-in-law, he and I, man, we're really good together. Love him to death. He's a great father. So, and watch your kids experience, being a parent is amazing, dude. And I hope that you guys enjoy as your kids grow and start to produce kids, man, that you enjoy just as much as I do.
Well, one day, I'll be there. Not anytime soon, hopefully. And I know I'm gonna be that goofy grandfather. You know what I mean? I know.
I got a secret for you.
What's that?
I got a secret for you. It's not up to you.
I hear you, man. Listen,
What was you say 5?
What you say you were smoking?
Some of that
Hey,
patty.
why don't you ask Don what he's smoking?
What you smoking, bro?
Well, ask Panda first.
Nope. Go ahead. Come on. You're on the big screen now.
What are you smoking, Don?
Oh, surprise. Surprise.
No, go ahead, Panda.
What?
Go ahead.
I'm just smoking. What am I smoking?
Oh.
All right, William, man, enjoy, brother.
So y'all gonna make me step up a little bit.
Well, listen, man. It is Father's Day, my brother. There you go. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
See, I know my crowd, so I know who I run with.
Look, Davidoff, of course. I'm telling you, Gabe, that's all he smoked. Look. There's a pattern here, guys. It's funny how people know what this man smoked. Look, hologram and get black. I mean, I'm telling you.
I am sad to say though, this was the last one in my humidor. So
Well, until tomorrow.
To that Tuesday shipment come through.
Oh man. But yeah, and it really is a blessing. And you know what? And with UPC, you've already got to see, you know, the circle of life, right?
circles of
Right,
life.
there you go.
I told you I know my crowd, man. I get in where I fit in.
Yeah. PC going fancy on us. I know, bro. Yo, I don't know who got them hooked on the percentages, man, but I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the butt.
Hey, watch out! You with something swinging behind you.
Oh man, I tell you, man. Listen, like I said, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. You know, my kids are healthy. They could be a pain in the ass, but I still love them.
Yep.
You know, and the reality is this: my daughter and I, we've gotten a lot closer the older she's gotten. You know, and you know, she's constantly, you know, calling me and telling me things, even things that the dad doesn't need to know. Baby girl, no, dad doesn't need to know that. No, dad, you do. I'm transparent with you, dad. No. There's certain things, baby girl, you can hold back. TMI.
My daughter tells me, you wanted to have a close relationship. Man, come on.
But that is funny how when they're born, you wish them to have the same thing, to be healthy and to talk to you and all this other good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You wish them that throughout their lifetime as they get older, start their transition into adulthood, and your wishes are from the beginning to the following stages of life for them. You want the best for them, so that's what you ask. You want them to be healthy, mentally, physically, and financially.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah. Oh, that's a good stick, brother. Anything Aganosa makes is good, man.
I'm mad that I bought one now.
God, you know,
which one you smoking now? The Placencia?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
You know, we're still talking about Father's Day. You know, I think, JJ's not with us today. He's doing family things, and he's still got the small kids, man. He's still got all this to go through that we're talking about. And part of me, not part of me, a lot of me misses that, the little things that, the things that you take for granted, the driving them to practice and coaching their teams and doing the things that you do, teaching a young man or a young woman the ways that life's gonna treat them, and then you see them kind of going through it now, and you're like, man, whenever they go through things, you want to jump in and fix it, but they're adults now. I can't fix everything for them anymore,
That's such a valid point, man. Good, I'm sorry.
I tell my kids at this age, man, I'm not going to give you any advice that you don't ask for, because anything other than that is preaching, and that's when they tune you out. So I had to learn fast that they have their own mindset at this age where they are. Most of them, they got one in his 20s, and the others, they're really grown. So I tell them, you gotta ask for advice before I give it to you nowadays. And even if they're walking into, a pit, I might say, hey, watch that landmine. That's about it. But then, once they get there, they got to ask me, because a lot of times they will tune out on you. I know better than you. Okay.
The only thing that I really preached at my kids a lot about was, and it's something we didn't have to worry about, was if you put something on the internet, it's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have to worry about it. Every single person walking the face of the earth didn't have a camera when we were kids.
Right.
So if we did something stupid, or we were a jackass or whatever, only the people that you were with knew about it, because, but nowadays it's out there forever.
Another thing that I taught my kids, especially my daughter first, was because she will always use the word, "Oh, my friend this, my friend that, my friend that." I go, baby girl, you don't have that many friends. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, what?
The hell?
Oh, hey, that was me.
I took care of it. I got it out.
All right, cool.
And to me, I go, baby girl, you better learn quick the difference between a friend and an acquaintance. Just like that. But you have a lot of friends. I go, no, I don't. No, I don't. I have a lot of acquaintances. I go, you will know who your friends are when you're sick, you're in trouble, you have that first heartbreak, with the boy that they're the first ones to reach out to you, want to go and go eat ice cream with you, and so you could vent, cry, whatever it is that you girls do, the vent, and those are the ones that you treasure. Those are the ones that you keep close to heart. The rest, it's just like a season, right? They're just there for a season in your life. That's all it is.
That's it. And
Just,
even as adults, you still have friends or associates that you call friends, just on as a reference, but they're in your life for a season too. So you have to be able to determine that at a younger age when a person is just there for a season. Not that you mistreat that person, you don't offer up yourself to them, but people are just in your life for a season, majority of the time.
Did you guys have a besides the birth of your kids? Of course, that's everybody else. That's the greatest days of our lives. Did you guys have a day or a time when you looked at your kids and went, "Man, I did something right. I did something right with it." For me, it was when they both graduated high school and they were both successful after. Because we always question ourselves, like when you have to be the disciplinarian. I don't. None of us like being the disciplinarian. None of us like grounding and taking things away but I think it's something that's missing in child rearing these days is that punishment phase of life, because they don't understand when you get a job and you do something wrong, you're going to get punished for it. You're going to get whatever the case in life. If you mess up in your marriage, you're going to get punished for it. For me, when we got to graduation and I saw the successes afterwards, I said, okay, I did something right. I did something right with these two. I wasn't always, I didn't always make the right decision. And that's why I tell, new fathers and new parents, you're not always going to make the right decision. So don't stress over making, you can always, if you ground your kid for something and it turns out it wasn't them, you can always walk in the room and say, hey, I'm sorry. I messed up. That wasn't you. I get it. We're good. You never get that chance back to give that lesson though, that.
Well, the kids need to learn at a young age that there are consequences for wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that's a fact. And that is part of one of the hardest things to do. That saying when you said, "Oh, this hurts me more than it hurts you." It's gonna hurt you or whatever the circumstance.
Just in a different place.
In a different place, exactly. But to answer your question, it to me was my daughter, not only graduated, starting her career, but I think just recently when she finally moved into her own apartment by herself. My son right now, my reason to see him, to be able to see him walk that stage of graduation and now going to school for his career. I'm not. Well, I'm proud of my children regardless, but to me, like my son is that one that I want to see everything that he wants, and you want that for all your kids, right? You want them to whatever dreams they have, whatever goals they have, you want them to reach for the stars. And I tell my kids, I will always be your biggest supporter, your biggest cheerleader, but what I won't do, I will not enable you to be lazy. I will not want it more, nor can I want it more than you do.
Right.
Okay? I go, I will help you through it, but I can't do it for you. And like my daughter just recently had some decisions. There's a decision that she has to make right now, career wise, and she asked for my opinion. But like I told her, I said, I can't tell you which one's best for you. You know what's best for you.
Right.
What I could tell you is to write down the pros and cons of each situation, and I told you, be honest about it. You have to be honest about it, because if you're only going for this position over there only because of one specific thing, then that's not really a good thing. Right. It has to be as a whole, the totality of that decision. I go, because you're the one that has to live with that decision, not me. And you got to weigh out the pros and cons. Mm-hmm. And I go, sure, but Dad, I want you to tell me what. I go, I'm not going to tell you.
Can't tell you what to do. Yeah.
I said, it's not for me to tell you what to do.
I mean, that's like a catch-22 for a parent. If I tell you what to do and it doesn't work out, you're going to blame me. And basically what you're saying, you got to be accountable for your own actions, because what I want for you, it may not work out, because I see you in a different light, because I'm on the outside looking in. But only you know if you're going to be happy in that situation, because you know what the particulars are about whatever you're getting into. So that's the way I see it as a parent. But yeah.
There you go. I did it when my daughter graduated junior high school. I even told her, your dad not. And this is important, right? And Black, you just hit something that's very important. Excuse me. As a father, it is very important to validate your children's accomplishments, just as much as it is for you to point out some of the shortcomings and stuff like that. To tell your kids that you love them.
Of course. It's the last thing I say to my kids every time we talk.
Yeah, listen, you guys know what I do for a living. If God forbid the one day I don't make it home, for whatever reason, because it's just my time, and the man upstairs called and pulled my ticket, my kids, I will hope that they would never doubt. That one hit one. I don't know why, but it hit me.
Yeah.
We know what you're saying, that your kids will never doubt that you love them. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I grow up in that environment, what I mean? Of knowing I love you all the time. Right. And that to me was something pinnacle for me to really instill into my kids, to know that I love them.
Right.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, man, my instinct is to see my oldest daughter and my youngest son get married. And that was
back at you, Gabe. Love you too, brother.
Yeah. To see my youngest son get married, and that was one of my proudest moments. I got a chance to walk my daughter down the aisle, and the father-daughter dance was not a traditional dance. So, and they left me out the loop. It's like, I'm thinking we're gonna do the traditional slow song at her wedding. No, they played something so that I could show my former talents.
Please tell me there's some video of that somewhere.
I can't confirm or deny that there is, but that was one of my proudest moments when it comes to my kids, because it shows me that I've showed them what marriage should look like. So that may be something I want to go into with the person that I'm with. And the same thing with my son and his daughter. And his wife, with everything that goes on, you show them an example of what it should be. And they're following kind of in your footsteps, because like I told them, I said, it's never easy. That is not an easy step to take. It takes a lot. You got to put up with, when it comes to marriage, you got to be able to get along with the person, not just love them. You got to like them. So, I gave out a lot of advice when it came to that. So that was one of my proudest moments with my son and my daughter and stuff like that. And like you say, I'm proud of all of my kids. I love them, but and they know that. I'm like you now, Pete. It came to a point where I had some health issues a while back, but every time I see my kids, I hug them. I give them a hug. I tell them I love them. My nieces and everything of that nature, I let them know as much as I can, hey, I love you, because I don't want you to ever doubt that Uncle Paul or Dad or whatever, didn't love me or anything like that. And God forbid anything happens, Silverback got to come out. I got to dress in black. I'm pulling this white hat off dressing in black.
A lot, brother. Yeah, and you know what? And like I said, I got choked up there because it's so important, right? Like I said, as a dad, and I don't care what people say. The reality is, and this is probably going to be a little controversial, what I'm about to say, guys, but forgive me for it. This is why it's so important as a man that you are completely involved in your children's lives.
Mhm.
Because it matters. It matters, and to me, the importance of, I didn't have a father. I'm named after my biological father, but that's not the man who raised me. You know what I mean? And to me, there's a lot to say to these what do you want to call stepdads. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, it's sad because I think a lot of the stepmoms and stepdads, they don't get enough recognition for stepping in and doing what they didn't have to do, but they chose to do it.
They chose. That's what I was about to say. They chose to be a father instead of being made to be a father. They chose to be it, and that's important in a child's life. It really is.
Well, I'll just add to that. My oldest daughter has a stepdad. He's a great guy in my opinion. He's a stand-up kind of a guy. And he and I, we don't talk very much, but we have a great understanding about each other. And if he ever asks me, hey, can you help me with something? Man, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to see about this guy because you did something that I couldn't do because of distance, and then, the relationship that I had with her mom and we have a great relationship at the same time. So yeah, I got great respect for stepdads.
And that's a rarity. And I'm going to say that it's a rarity for our community. Not to excuse, Don, what I mean?
Right.
Because in the Latin community, the Black community, it's always that competition, or there's always that interferes of us being adults and understanding the maturity that it takes. That it has nothing to do with the kids. Just because you and I could not work out, and what our differences were, have nothing to do with our child, right? And that's such an important aspect of it. And it takes it like right now. I don't want to say a great relationship with my daughter's mom, but we have a good relationship. We've gone out to dinner, all of us, and so we celebrate our daughter's 21st birthday. She was with her significant other. I was with my significant other, and it was a great time. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've been to my house. Both of them have come over to my house.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. It's a level of maturity that, if for whatever reason, and I can only honestly speak for my culture, it always seems to be like, what? You have who over your house? Wow.
Right.
Like, well, why not?
Why not? Right.
Like, why not? Like, I don't understand. Dude, I haven't been with my daughter's mom in 20 some odd years. Whatever issues her and I had 20 plus years ago ain't got nothing to do with today.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it says a lot about how much I've matured,
right,
over the years. Because, and I'm not ashamed to say, when I was with my daughter's mom, I wasn't in the greatest mindset. I had that machismo, typical nonsense.
Right.
You do no. And like I said, as you get older, you realize, man, what the hell you were thinking back then? If you could go back to that kid because that's what it was. It was a very insecure person. Despite, I wouldn't call it insecurity. I would call it disrespect.
Right.
Why are you disrespecting me like that? No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. It has to do with the level of my immaturity.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to. You know what I mean?
Well, and I'll just expand on that. I don't mean to step on you, Don, but it's a level of selfishness. Mm-hmm. And I had to get over myself, dude. Like I said, I came from an environment to where I was that athlete, and it's like you live in your own world as an athlete. And I had to step outside that world to see where I needed to fit in and get rid of that selfishness. And, whatever you did as a football player does not apply to being a daggone father. I'm just going to say a damn father for the simple fact, I look back at myself and I look back with disgust, but I don't hold that against myself at the same time. So, it's like, yo, man, you can't be that selfish. You got that. Your girl needs you just as much. And so you're going to have to put that pride aside and talk to her mom and make this thing work. And like I said, I earned a respect for her stepdad. And, like I said, I respect the guy, man. I really do. You taking on someone else's lineage.
We had some friends of ours that it's actually one of my son's friends, and they're a mom and stepdad and a dad and stepmom, and they go out periodically. I'm sure they don't hang out all the time, but they go out periodically. And they told their son, and I think it's one of the greatest things they could ever tell him, is no matter what happened between your mom and I or your dad and I, one of the greatest things we ever did was have you. Yep. And so with that, we're forever linked, and if we can make that a positive, loving environment, then, there's nothing wrong with that, and guys, too often we get that machismo. No, this dude's with my ex, and but whatever, it's over, once it's, I'm not in that situation, so I'm kind of speaking out of turn here, but I see it in other people, and I think it's a beautiful thing when that child can feel the love from both sides and know that, hey man, mom and dad and stepmom and stepdad all love me, and it's they never make them feel that pressure of oh, you going to his house tonight, oh, you going to their house tonight, oh, yeah, they don't get that.
That's a whole nother segment, buddy. That's a whole nother segment. But hey, I just want the record to show and reflect that I'm still on my first stick, and Don and I started at the same time, and he's already halfway done the second.
I'm not halfway. I'm a quarter inch into the second one.
and the things, I didn't even bring a backup, man. I didn't even bring a back. I got to get a backup. I think I have an idea what I want to smoke for my.
I got one for you. I got a Tatuaje for you, man. So you can get it. I'll let you smoke that.
Ruination 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Box press, such a good thing. See, I don't. Okay, Don. So Don asked me. Don and I were talking about this the other day, and I know we kind of just all over the place with these conversations. But Don asked me a question, and he gave me his reasoning of why he'll smoke a top premium cigar and then go from a Davidoff to a Man of War Ruination, which are totally complete. You cannot have asked for two opposite cigars. Right?
Right.
Now, was that your first stick of the day, Don?
It was.
There you go. And
so the reason that question came up is because that one night, one of the first lives that you and I did on Facebook, I smoked a Davidoff first, and then I smoked a Brick House right afterwards. And you went ham on me, like you couldn't like.
I mean, out of all secondary cigars he has in his humidor, and trust me, the Davidoff has plenty to pick and choose, and he chose the Brick House. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Tell them my reasoning though. Go ahead.
But it makes sense. It's his very first cigar. His palate's completely fresh. Mm-hmm. So I understand it. It makes absolute, logic. It makes sense. But I still wouldn't go from a Davidoff to a damn Brick House, man.
Well, what I was saying though is when I smoke that Davidoff or the Padron or the Plasencia or whatever, I want that to be my first stick because I want to taste everything on a clean palate and taste everything. Because if I smoke this cigar first, it's going to change the flavor of that Davidoff or that Padron or whatever. So, or it's not going to change the flavor. It's going to change how I perceive the flavor.
Right.
And that's my reasoning.
So
it makes sense.
So you would do it in reverse. You would smoke the Brick House first and then probably smoke the Davidoff. I'm just curious. I'm curious.
No, you talking about me?
Yeah.
No,
how would you do it?
It makes absolute sense. I mean, sometimes it just so happens like this is not my first stick. I've had what I had the what was my very first stick I smoked? I had the Cornetto.
Yeah.
I had the Cornetto. Which to me, that was such a great cigar to start off my day with, right?
Right.
Knowing that I was going to smoke this cigar if we got on, if we didn't get on, this was going to be a stick. And you guys know, I normally smoke this stick. Normally, I don't chill by myself, but now, like, there's so many other cigars that I absolutely love, and the Plasencia, Sixto is like, and mind you, I've not smoked the Sixto. I can't even tell you when. And they can't even keep the green Sixto in my shop.
Right.
Yeah.
They fly off the shelves, man. They have the black label, but not the green label.
Right.
But I think I'm gonna smoke. What am I gonna smoke next? You know what? I have an idea. So while I go do that, guys, I'm gonna give a thanks and shout out to our sponsors. As always, My Lounge, Burn One. And I'll be right back. See you in a minute, baby. Peace. What's going on, guys? This is your boy Panda, and your boy Panda has some great news. We have teamed up with Burn One Cigar Bar, located at 7328 Royal Palm Boulevard in Margate, Florida. Guys, Burn One Cigar Bar is your go-to destination for the finest selections of premium cigars at unbeatable prices. Step into a world of luxury and relaxation as you indulge in the smooth flavors and exquisite aromas of our carefully curated cigars collection. But that's not all. Burn One Cigar Bar has teamed up with us for an exclusive sponsorship opportunity just for you. When you call Burn One and purchase any box of cigars, you unlock a fantastic discount of 20% of your order using special discount code PANDA. You can contact Burn One at 954-970-0001 or on their social media pages, Facebook and or Instagram. Guys, don't miss this chance to elevate your cigar experience without breaking the bank. Visit Burn One Cigar Bar today, mention discount code PANDA, and treat yourself to premium cigars at incredible value. Hurry up, this offer won't last. Burn One Cigar Bar, where luxury meets affordability, and they ship nationwide. Peace. Peace.
Where luxury meets affordability.
That's right, where they're nicely curated.
Yes, sir.
Carefully curated.
So this, I'm gonna have to just making me another drink. So I gotta somewhat cleanse my palate because this cigar, I haven't smoked this cigar in a while.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last. I'm trying to think when was the last time I smoked this cigar. Any ideas, guys?
I'm gonna go with Dia de las Gloria.
How about you, PC?
I'm just gonna go with the Sixto.
You know what? I was going to, I mentioned it, but no.
Sixto was too obvious.
Yeah. You ready?
The Amazon Basin.
The Amazon Basin, gentlemen.
Look at that.
So, as you guys know, the Panda ended up acquiring 2 boxes. And the first box, the Pandas, how you guys know, I'm very grateful.
Wait. Are we just going to glaze on by that?
What's that?
The Panda acquired 2 boxes. So the Panda was just giving Don a rash of crap about a Davidoff and then a Ruination when he went Padron 1926 to Amazon Basin. So, and he's going to come at me. And then, the Panda acquired 2 boxes.
Well, the thing is that...
Carry on. Go ahead.
Hold on. Little gin and tonic. Never heard anyone. So, well, I got the 1 box, and you know how I get. I'm very. What's the word?
Order.
I'm glad she walked in when she already walked in when you said that because she would probably say yeah, scream. So I'm not shy of sharing what I have with anybody. I could just meet you, and if you say you never have, let's say the Amazon Basin, you know what? Send me your address. You'll get one shipped to you.
I've never had the Amazon Basin.
Well, that's
never.
No, He got two. He acquired two of them. But and that was the whole thing. So I realized that I started. And mind you, these guys called me when the panel was feeling nice. He might have had maybe 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 drinks, And I just started saying, yeah, sure, no problem. I got you. Don't worry about it. But you know what? All in all, I don't care because you know what? This is what this is all about. It's about sharing the experience, and honestly, just allowing other people. Because listen, this is the truth of the matter. Like I don't mind sharing with you guys exactly what I have, but sometimes I don't, and I hope that I don't come across like I'm showing off. Because that's like my biggest thing. Like I don't ever want people to think that I'm showing off because that's not me. That's not who I am. Because I'm more than grateful to share what I have. But I also have a lot of friends, right, or acquaintances in the community that take good care of me. You know what I mean? And I get gifted a lot of things. I get, things that are either sent to me or like I said, I get a great discount over them. And you know what? I'll be a fool not to take advantage of it. But you know what? I'm more than willing to share what I have, because it's like, that's what I want. I want you to be able to experience. If you're that person that can't afford an Amazon Basic or an Opus or what you call it, whatever the hell it is, you know what? I want you to be able to enjoy that experience and be like, you know what? I got you. I got you. But anyways, that's my rant on that. But yeah.
Man, this is a very good stick, man. I recommend the stick to anybody that's looking to get it. The price point is a little stiff, but go get the stick.
So are we going to glaze on by that PC's been on here for like 13 minutes now and he's already like 3/4 of the way through that cigar? Or is it just me?
Wow. Well,
yeah, I gotta fire back, man. I gotta fire back.
But that's the problem, Don. But everyone knows you're the chimney of the group. Everyone knows you're the chimney of the group, buddy. Everyone. Yeah, exactly.
They used to say, make your haters your motivators.
Hey, Black, what is it that you haven't had? Wow. See, this is a lot. Ooh. This got some pepper and some spice to it, baby.
Mm.
Yeah, and mind you, this is my first Amazon Basic in 2025. I haven't smoked this year, obviously, until now.
So is it closer to the Brazilians when you fire it up and get that peppery, or is it closer to something else, the extreme? Because the extreme is a little bit smoother than most.
No, this one got a bite to it, man. The spice and everything is just.
So it's close to the BX3 then.
What's going on, Randy? Happy Father's Day, man.
Happy Father's Day, buddy.
So it's closer to the BX3 profile.
Drone to be fancy like you guys. Well, we'll see if we can make that happen. The problem is right now, I don't know if the mail's gonna even get to you one day, buddy. What's going on, Randy, man? How you doing? How's your Father's Day going, brother? Yeah, so that is good, man. It's crazy because you know how it is that there's certain cigars, right, that you'll just start smoking them constantly, right?
Right.
And then it gets to the point like they're like, okay, man, I need a break. I need a break from this cigar. And to me that was like my new world. Puro Especial, AJ, and I told you guys I was like $2 a month easy for that box, for that cigar. And I just burned myself out with that cigar, About to step out and fire it up. What are you smoking, Randy? I just lit up my Amazon Basic. I just finished smoking the Padron 80th. Don, of course, had his Davidoff Nicaraguan.
No. I got a Ruination. Come on now.
No, that's his third stick, Randy.
Not my third stick. Okay,
And of course, PC smoking the new Plasencia. I haven't had that one yet.
It's a beautiful steak, man. It's right there in that profile for Plasencia. And it might can stand on alone by itself, like the Sixto.
All right. Better than the other the black label.
I haven't smoked the Black Label in a while, so I'm not able to compare the two right now.
Okay, that's the Jerry. Is that the Family by Loyalty cigar?
I was gonna say I haven't heard of that one.
I think that's by Allen. I gave Ernie my Freaky box press. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. I haven't had. See, I've only had the Freaky box press, and I gave my last one to my best friend Ernie to give it in for him to check. I know he's gonna actually love that cigar. You gotta let me know how that one is. I don't know. Like the problem is with those sticks, they're hard to find now because the lounge around the corner, the Stogies, used to carry Family by Loyalty. They don't do it anymore. And I guess it's just that lounge. You know what I mean? That lounge is not necessarily a boutique cigar, which surprised me because they got some heavy hitters. You know what I mean? That enjoyed some strong sticks. And Allen sticks are strong. That's what the Rock can tell you of the Dragon, man. I felt disappointed. It tasted like really, Don, is that the one that we smoked at Clint's?
Did we smoke the Rocky Patel or the Placencia Year of the Dragon?
I don't think it was the Placencia. I think
Must have been. I think it was the Rocky.
The Rocky. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good stick.
It was spicier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I told you guys that that one cigar that I bought that and I don't even want to mention that company's name, but it was such a disappointment, man. You spent $14 on a cigar. Actually, I spent more than that because I bought 3 of them. But I only smoked. I gave one to Ernie and another one to one of the guys at the shop. And the one guy at the shop, he absolutely loved it. Ernie was like, he goes, I want you to give me your opinion about it. And boy, he was spot on. Because Ernie and I pretty much have identical palates, And I couldn't even get past the second, third. I got to the second, third, and I got probably half of the second, third, and I just left it in the ashtray, man. I was extremely, extremely disappointed.
I hear people say that all the time. It was a good stick. It was a good stick. It was a good stick. But a lot of people not being truly honest about some of the profiles on the sticks that they smoke, man. So,
that Manny, Don got to me, Manny. He was praising the hell out of the cigar, and not only that, but I also heard a lot of people that, when I looked them up, everyone raved about the cigar. And
right.
I was, you know what? When you get that many people, liking it, you're like, okay, there's got to be something to it, right? But then you kind of wonder after you smoke it, and like for myself, I didn't like it, and I was extremely disappointed. It makes you wonder: is it the hype?
Right.
Is it the hype? Is it the company? You know what I mean? Because you have followers in every in there, right? You have Espinosa followers, Perdomo, Padrones, Placencia. You have people that no matter what they throw out there, they're gonna say is the best thing out there.
Well,
I'm just not that person, man, because I don't follow just one particular person like that.
But you know what I always say, if you smoke that stick one time, and if it's not a totally 100% terrible experience for you, you got to smoke at least twice, because you got to prove to yourself, okay, it really was or it wasn't a good or bad stick. So you got to always buy you 2, man. So
yeah, but man.
And I know at that price point, and for some people, just like, man, I'm not buying 2. I'm not gonna go get another.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Because listen, another one was the BX2, BX3,
MX2.
The MX2, because I actually like the BX3, right? And that one, and that's another cigar. Honestly, guys, that I didn't finish that one. I smoked half of it, And I remember I was in CI in Tampa when I had to take my dad up back to his house to get his treatment. But honestly, like that, and another guy that we know and we respect his palate is Clint. Clint swears by that BX2. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'll probably give that one another shot. As far as the one I'm talking about, I'm gonna wait a little bit before I go back and spend 14. You know what I mean? And and you guys know who it is because it's like, you know, I like some of this stuff, not all of this stuff. The
Right.
20 Reserve felt had more flavor. You know what? So the 30th, it's a lot smoother.
Mm-hmm.
20th, I like the 20th, and I like the 10th anniversary Maduro. The blue label is the one I like. But I do like the 20th. The 30th is nice. But also remember that Perdomo is not relatively known for strong cigars.
Right.
So that's you got to take that into consideration too.
Well, I smoked the 20th in the past, man, and that bad boy had me on my knees when I first smoked it years ago. And I tread lightly when it comes. I got a few in the box, but I tread lightly when it comes to lighting up that 20th anniversary. Because
Perdomo, mind that they have good products. You know what I mean? It's just if I'm gonna smoke a Perdomo, and if I'm gonna smoke a Perdomo, it's definitely the 20th or the 10th.
Mhm.
You know, or the 30th. You know what I mean? I don't mind that one either. But that's pretty much those are the three that I gravitate to.
I like that 12-year bourbon barrel aged. I like that one.
It was not bad. Even the Habano has a little spice to it. You know what I mean? The Habano is pretty good. I know Ernie likes that one, but I've been introducing him to a lot of stuff. Like, he absolutely loves this stick. The AJ Wood Quattro. This is another phenomenal stick.
Yeah, and that was one of the ones I didn't pick up today. I probably should have got that stick, to be honest with you.
I won that 10-pack. I told Ernie I was going to give him, 5 of them. The way I'm going through them.
Yeah, that brown label Quattro is really good also.
See, I didn't like the brown label.
You did?
And so it gave me a bad whatever the vision in my mind about but then I tried the orange label and it was good.
Right.
But I still had that mental block about
the brown label.
The first one I tried was the brown label, and I didn't love it. It wasn't terrible, but I didn't love it.
Right.
And my buddy kept saying, "No, you gotta get the orange label. They're all the same." Back then, I got that orange label. I was like, okay, all right, I'm over the mental block now.
Okay. So I'll probably really love the orange label if I just been stuck on the brown label at one time.
That was you, Don, who smoked that one first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one also like the Monte Cristo 35th anniversary, right? That's another cigar that's absolutely. And I wasn't really big on Monte Cristos because to me most of them are very light.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of almost remind me of like the Macanudo. You know what I mean? And that they call on.
Yeah.
But that 35th, man, the Torpedo one especially is the one I'm referring to.
Right.
That cigar is fire, man. That cigar is really good.
The only problem with that cigar is and I know this is coming from me, but it smokes so fast. You can smile all you want. You said that too.
I'm about to pass out.
It does burn fast.
You got that look on your face.
What was that other stick that? Oh my God! What was the other stick that was a great smoke, but the drawback was that it just burned so fast.
The Davidoff Nicaragua?
No. I'm having a brain for it right now. My head right now is like a Rolodex. I'm just going. I just can't. Oh my Lord! What's that? Oh, the Oliva Melania 35th. That's another great smoke. But it burns so fast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a slow smoker. I mean, I could take any cigar and have it smoke for an hour.
Honestly, that's actually the cigar I was thinking about, not the Monte Cristo 35th. It was that Oliva one, the 135. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That burns fast.
I'm gonna tell you, get that Perfecto, Oliva Milana. Yeah, it's good too.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, and it's funny because after, even prior to the Melania that came out, I only enjoyed smoking the Oliva V's. Like I never cared for the G's or the O's or what is the other M. I think the M is limited.
Yeah.
But I didn't care for any of the other ones. It was always the V. It was always the V that I always enjoyed. And then all of a sudden they come out the Melania, I forget it. It blew the regular V out the water.
Mm-hmm.
But it still is a great smoke. But that 30, that one's just it just burns so bad. I mean, I think I smoked that cigar in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm a slow smoker. I'm not, yeah, buddy. Wait, let me see your stick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So, But guys, I can't believe it was already an hour and 20 minutes. We just chopped it up just for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm so grateful for today, gentlemen. Grateful for you guys' friendship.
Yep.
And like I said, we got some good things coming up our way. I got to get a hold of Jesse to see when he can send us that stuff. Obviously, the sooner the better. So hopefully we can start posting that for this coming Wednesday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern time, so we could talk about the Jacksonville Boutique Cigar Fest.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to that. And you guys stay tuned.
Hey, just to top off the topic of the conversation about Father's Day, but I'm gonna say this: I'm not trying to get the conversation kicked all back up again, but how important is it to have other good fathers around you, and you all feed off each other in such a way that you try to raise your kids in a good environment? You know what I mean? So it's like it takes a village to raise kids. It also takes a village of good fathers, kind of hanging out with each other to get it done.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, yeah, and you're right. Listen, it's like my comment earlier. The importance as a man for you to be and take and be part of your children's lives. You have no idea the impact that it causes on both sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
Okay, but we'll leave it at that. You guys, once again, if you like what you see, what you're hearing, as you can see, we chop up about everything, not just cigars. Okay, please subscribe, like, share, and definitely, we're trying to get to 500. We'll get there eventually. We're not in no rush. But obviously, the more you guys share, the more people like and subscribe, the faster we get there. So, any final notes, any final comments, gentlemen?
Hey, when you do, we got some great prizes, man, and trust me, it might be some signed boxes in that lineup of prizes.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, it's been a great one. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
This is David Garofalo of the Cigar Authority. You're listening to the Leaf and Ash Podcast, the cigar podcast that I listen to.
You got to teach me those dance moves, man. You got to teach.
Bye.